Hi, and welcome to the video on dividing by a fraction. In this video, we're going to take a look at how we take numbers and divide them by fractions. So let's take a look. To divide by a fraction, we need to multiply by its reciprocal. Now to understand that, I want to give you a visual example. Let's say I wanted to do 4 divided by a half. This is asking how many halves are in 4 wholes. So if I had 4 rectangles and I divided them into halves, I'd want to count up how many halves I have. Now in 4 wholes there are 8 halves. This means that 4 divided by a half is 8. But at the start of this video I said to divide by a fraction we multiply by its reciprocal. Let's see what that means. So the reciprocal of a half, if I want to divide by a half, the reciprocal of a half is 2 over 1. That's the same as 2 because 2 divided by 1 gives you 2. So if I want to divide by a half, that's the same as multiplying by 2. And 4 times 2 is 8. Do you notice how my two answers are exactly the same? Let's take a look at another example, like 6 divided by 1/3. How many thirds are there in 6? Well, the reciprocal of a third is 3 over 1. This is the same as 3 because 3 divided by 1 is 3. So if I want to find 6 divided by a third, how many thirds are there in 6? I need to do the same thing as 6 times 3, which we know is 18. Let's look at a trickier example. 6 divided by 2/3. Well, I know the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3 over 2. So to do 6 divided by 2/3, I need to do 6 times 3 over 2. That's the reciprocal. But how do I do that multiplication? Well, going back to our last video on multiplying fractions, to do 6 times 3 over 2 is the same as 6 times 3 divided by 2. And we can do this using the order of operations. We work from left to right, and 6 times 3 gives us 18, and then we divide it by 2. And 18 divided by 2 is 9. So 6 divided by 2/3 is 9. There are 9 2/3 in 6 wholes. Let's take a look at one more example. 5 divided by 3/4. How many 3/4 are there in 5? Well, we start with the reciprocal of 3/4, which is 4 over 3. So to find 5 divided by 3/4, I need to do 5 times 4 over 3, which is the reciprocal. Now 5 times 4 over 3 is the same as 5 times 4 divided by 3. 5 times 4 is 20. And 20 divided by 3, how many 3's are there in 20? Well, 3 goes into 26 times, because 6 3's are 18, and there are 2/3 left over. So 20 divided by 3 is 6 2/3. 5 divided by 3/4 is 6 2/3, and you can check that on a calculator. So what should you write for this video? Well, the heading divided by a fraction, and then the rule to divide by a fraction we multiply by its reciprocal is a good start. Then getting these two examples, the simplified examples, followed by the trickier ones, is going to help you move on in the exercise. And that's it. Hopefully now you know how to divide by a fraction. In our next video, we'll look at how we divide fractions by whole numbers and by other fractions. Good luck.